What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Plot Roast. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as always by my partner on this magic carpet ride, Mr. Casey Plotz.
Oh, well, thank you, Mick. It's a pleasure as always. And thank you so much for joining us here on another exciting episode of Plot Roast, as we destroy and rip apart some ridiculous, absurd movie that one of our wonderful Patreon members decided to give us, whom I love this man. I can say that. I love him. He's got a big heart.
Great man.
He's a beautiful man. This is terrible.
Yeah. Aaron, thank you for for giving us your recommendation this week. Of course, the movie is Blood Lake, the story of what happens when Charlie Daniels got tired of sawing on the fiddle and playing it hot and decides to move to a lakeside community and kill people. But that lakeside community has a toll booth, so it's okay.
In a shack.
In a shack. It's not even in a shack. It's literally just like the thing that you stick your card or the money in, and then it lifts the gate. That's it. It's like going to the Jersey Shore.
It's literally a dude wants to live in a toll booth. He got really excited, and he lived in a toll booth. Although the end shows that he obviously got what he wanted he got some goddamn peace and quiet.
I mean, listen, the dude figured out how to pull a boat on his IROC Z.
Well, that guy, that's Mike. Mike was pretty special, man. Mike was pretty special.
Mike, who I think is pretty much the exact thing that the Duffer Brothers went to look towards when they created Billy on the Stranger Things.
Oh, 100%. This is a group of Billies. This is just a crew of Billies. It's full of people with mullets, and everybody mumbles. It's amazing.
They had no sound on this whatsoever.
None. It was a hi-fi camera with a big sound mic that they hoped would work. And sometimes you got to hear boats and planes and lawnmowers and all sorts of stuff in the background. But how much dialogue did you hear? Not much.
None whatsoever that I could see.
Not much.
You give a lot of credit by calling it a hi-fi camera. This was a VHS camcorder.
Fair.
100%.
Yeah.
With no external mic. Oh, man, if they did this on Betamax. Well, that's why it didn't go anywhere, because they did it on Betamax.
Exactly.
Jesus. This movie is ridiculous. It's terrible. Aaron, who gave it to us, says it's one of his most hated movies. He hates this movie so much. But he gave it to us for us to watch. I had seen it before, in case it was your first time.
Yeah.
Before we get started, what's your initial take on Blood Lake?
Well, sturdy. I'm going to speak directly to you. This movie is trash. It is absolute hot garbage. The long rock and roll scenes, the three major rock and roll scenes, all with vehicles. Sometimes water vehicles, sometimes a Trans Am, which is radical. I mean, I love seeing the Pontiac pull up, which apparently can carry a lot more people than I was aware of.
And there was like 7 people in that fucking car.
I mean, it would have made more sense if some of them were sitting in the boat that it was towing.
None of them had it in the boat. It's 1987. None of them sat in a fucking boat.
Not one of them.
In fact, I think this movie came out in 1987.
Yes.
I'm not 100% convinced it wasn't shot earlier.
84, maybe with a few cut takes with that beautiful ending to wrap it up is really probably a year later, because it looks like a different guy. So he's got the same hat and a different shirt.
There's so much to this movie. It's so 80s, it hurts my face.
Yeah, and as far as 80s movies go, it was awful. It was real bad. It was real bad from quality. It was real bad from what they were trying to do. The shots were the only redeeming thing in this, because the kill scenes were annoying. The kill scenes were so bad. Half of them were terrible. Just awful. So initially,
what kill scenes again? What kill scenes are you talking about? You mean the 6 death scenes that happened in this? The first one that took place 2 minutes into the movie, and then the second death took place 48 minutes in.
Why does he kill the gardener who's clearly been there for a long amount of time?
Yeah, he's the gardener. They know. First of all, the whole motivation for this movie, the whole motivation for the killer doing what he does makes no goddamn sense.
No. He wants some goddamn peace and quiet. Her dad bought the land off him and apparently didn't pay him.
Yeah, just bought it and like
Just
lived there.
bought it, but just lived there without paying him. So he just kills everyody.
Let's take
all
this
the
back.
kids.
Before we go, we got to take this back to the beginning. We do have to take this back to
all right.
So, because trust me, I'm right there with you, and I want to tear this apart. But we got to give everybody a little bit of a background.
Context.
So, of course, it's 6 teenagers, 4 of which are above 18. 2
Yes.
are very much below 18.
13 tops.
We'll get to that problematic area in a minute. They go to one of the girls' lake houses, who clearly has been in her family for a very long time, and they talk about that, which comes into play later. And they go and they spend their weekend out there just doing water skiing and hanging out and drinking and having a good old time.
Smoking some marijuana.
Yeah, we have Mike, Becky, Brian, Kim, Tony, Susan, and the killer, and a few other people that are actually killed.
Who I love them, by the way. Mumbles and Mullet are amazing. Those guys are phenomenal because the one dude at one point is wearing suspenders with jorts and a white t-shirt.
No, they weren't jorts. Those weren't jorts.
No way.
Those were sweatpants cut into shorts. And he was wearing suspenders, and he was wearing a cut-off t-shirt.
Yep.
And he had that blonde hair with a little rat tail in the back.
With the semi-mullet rat tail. Dude, that guy was my hero.
Oh, my God. And he was hammered all the time?
At one point during that death scene. So the killer is approaching these 2 guys who are sitting on a dock where we've established this is a lake house. They have a boat. They brought the boat on the Pontiac, which is ridiculous, towing that thing. Jesus. So they steal the boat. A couple times the boat gets taken out. It's ridiculous. No. So they're sitting on the dock smoking after having just decided they wanted to leave because they were drunk and high enough. And yet they went out to get more drunk and high and sitting on the dock. And the killer approaches them. They have seen him twice now and run him off and talk shit to him about how they're going to whoop his ass and they better worry about him. At one point, it's so Beavis and Butthead because they're literally staring at each other. They come around the corner and he's gone. The killer's disappeared. And once again, we see the shanty shack room thing.
It was a garage. Let's call it what it is.
It was a
shed or a garage.
Yeah, a little outdoor shed. And they can't get into it because they don't have a key, which doesn't make sense. If you own the property, you open that door. So these 2 guys are like back and forth, like, yo, you're going to kick your ass, man. We're totally going to get you. Haha. Yo, we would kick his ass. And they like high five basically and then walk away. So the killer approaches them one night at the dock and they're just paralyzed with fear until our friend in the suspenders and the cut off sweatpants just says, come on, man, and just jumps in the water and swims away from his friend. That guy's my hero.
Jeez, listen, there's a lot of swimming in this.
A lot of swimming.
Even at one point, and not to give too much away before we get there, but Mike hearing that his friends took the boat and they went around to go and like hook up around this ravine or whatever. And he jumps in the water. He takes his shirt off, jumps in the water, and swims to them.
Yeah.
Finds them dead.
Yep.
Hears screams all the way back at the house, which he should have never left in the first place. And then jumps in the water and swims.
He has the boat. Why didn't he just take the boat back?
He just jumped in the water. And then, oh my God, there's so much wrong with this shit.
Oh, well, okay. So where everybody was getting high and smoking weed, this was a big deal because now we got the potentially, I'm saying 13-year-old younger brother. Basically, he's like, can I have a beer? And they give him a beer and they're letting him get all messed up, but they're also screwing with him the whole time. And they're like, you don't smoke any weed. If I see you doing that, I'm going to kill you. They threaten to kill this boy a lot. As a brother, he has a lot of death threats on him. Like, constantly.
There were way more death threats than there were actual deaths in this horror movie.
Valid. There were a ton of threats. There was a lot of ass-kicking threats, death threats, and underage fornication threats, which was really uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable.
They treated that like this little 13-year-old boy has his little 13-year-old girlfriend there, and he's like, oh, I got my fuck buddy. And it's like, what are you talking about?
That wasn't his girlfriend. That was just a girl that the girls brought.
Yeah.
For what?
And he's like, I got me a sleeping partner. It's like, what the fuck?
So bad, dude.
Oh,
it was
terrifying.
so bad.
Terrifying. And she had to like fight off advances from this kid the whole time.
And
Because the kid is
and then you get that one scene where they're both laying on the couch asleep, and it looked like literally everybody was just had some downtime from filming.
Yeah.
And they were sleeping on the couch because they're children.
Mm-hmm.
And the director picked up the camera and was like, now's a great time to film.
Yep. Yeah, weird. Very weird.
So problematic in so many ways.
Very problematic. Yeah, not freaking kosher. So that was a little weird and kind of kept taking me out of this thing the entire time. Let's see. What else did we have? Oh, remember the creepy spitting grandma thing? They tried to make as the thing that the little device that hung on the wall. You pulled the chain and the thing spit and they had this creepy,
Yep. That was their jump scare, dude. They had more jump scares in this movie than they did fucking deaths in this movie. Because remember at the one point, like the guy's like just kind of like, first of all, holding his breath he didn't even have the fucking snorkel on those goggles, so I don't want to hear it. First of all, I didn't even get to that. They brought a boat on an IROC Z. They opened up. They were told to go get
that was not an IROC Z. That was a Pontiac. I think it was a Firebird or a Trans Am.
It said IROC on the side,
but it didn't have a Chevy front.
Listen, I'm not telling you why or what. I could have sworn.
Oh my god, that makes it even better, though. I hope you're right, because that makes it so much worse if they just cobbled together.
That'd be great.
Oh,
so they brought the boat. They brought half a paper bag filled with groceries.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to be for 3 days and all their beer.
Yep,
makes no sense.
And they open the refrigerator and it's
wait. Before we get there.
Sorry.
They also packed flippers and a snorkel.
Yes.
That's it.
So you need
like these dude bros had their guns out because the sun was out. We know it.
Yep.
This kid, they were there for 3 days, and this kid we saw night and day, like 3 days. They were dressed in the same exact clothes the whole time. Now, not
until the last night. Last night they all changed.
The girls
different
changed.
Clothes at the last party. Oh yeah, boys might have been in the same ones.
Boys have been in the same shit. That blue popped collar that the kid wore.
Yeah,
the entire time. No wonder. And the other girl that was young that he was supposed to be pushed on.
Yeah.
She wore the same clothes the entire time too.
The SWAT shirt. Yeah, she had the SWAT shirt. Yeah.
And I only knew that because she went and hid behind something and he didn't see her. And I was like, it's a completely bright white t-shirt. How do you not see this?
Yeah, the killer in this was pretty awful. And the killer really loved, he had a knife foreplay thing going on. He was all about rubbing his knife on people. That dude was uncomfortably rubbing his knife on everyone's faces, stomachs. He tied people up and then rubbed them down with that knife before stabbing them.
But you see, I like the little nuances like that. Here's the thing. I wouldn't mind that if you knew who the fucking killer was. With that, like you saw him.
Right.
You know who he was. But it's not like he interacted or you knew anything about him.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, we're going to show you this cowboy that looks like Charlie Daniels the entire time. He's going to be sitting in the background. Jed, yeah. He's going to be sitting in the background. We're going to see him walking around. The whole nine. You're going to see him kill people.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to pretend like this is Friday the 13th Part 1 and you don't know who the killer is and just do everything for POV.
Yeah, even though you've seen him the whole time.
Fuck this movie, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then, okay, how about the law enforcement? That's the most laissez-faire thing on the earth. The land development services guy has to come out because there are some murders from around here. This is not an officer of the law.
Yeah.
This is a government official coming out and sees a slumped body on the fucking pier.
Stabbed.
And stabbed, dead. And then the other dude hung from a tree, dead, stabbed, clearly just slumped over dead.
Blood everywhere.
It just goes, well, I'm going to have to call a sheriff on out. And Mike goes, all right, well, if you need anything, I'll be back up at the house.
And 3 minutes later, somebody took that boat out.
Yeah.
Not a crime scene. Nobody showed up.
Nothing going on. We take the boat out and go dick around for a little bit.
Let's face facts. They blew their entire fucking budget on that ambulance scene, which is literally just people getting into an ambulance and the boat probably.
Well, the boat was probably a big spend. Or I'm thinking it was that soundtrack. Man, whoever that band was, because those were entire songs.
Voyager. Their name is Voyager.
Voyager those were entire Voyager songs.
That
This was basically an album release with what was an attempt at a slasher.
You want to know how I know?
How do you know that's Voyager?
Because I did some math during this, Casey. I did math during this. And I really wanted to know because there's 4 scenes in this movie that take entirely too long. They do not push forth the plot in any way, shape, or form.
No, sir.
There is nothing that pushes forth. And those 4 scenes, I did the math on how long they are. Water skiing scene starts at 24 minutes and 50 seconds, ends at 34 minutes and 28 seconds.
With her screaming about a snake we don't
that
see.
passed her. That passed her. A snake swam past me, and I hate snakes. And it's like, fucking, so do I. But
they can't bite you in the water.
What?
And you're about to water ski, yo.
They're leaving.
They're going away.
He's leaving you. He's not even by you. The second scene is the quarter scene.
Oh, man, the quarter scene was incredibly long, and it's all about just trying to get a girl drunk to have intercourse.
The wrong girl. That scene is 6 minutes long. It's just them playing quarters, talking random shit. It furthers the plot in no way, shape, or form. They don't talk about anything because immediately after that scene, they all get up from the table and go in the living room, and the blonde-headed dude with the suspenders says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you." And then he's talking about like what could possibly be the killer. And I'm like, you just did a 6-minute scene of them playing quarters, no music, no nothing.
Yeah, no ambience at this point. We've had music through everything. There's some fucking video game music at one point.
Oh my
when
God.
We're following the killer at one point, it sounds like it's Danny Elfman doing a video game version of this, like Danny Elfman recording Zelda. And that's what it was like watching him for a little bit. And I'm like, this does not fit. They have ruined and taken me out of it in even worse ways because this isn't even logical. Where did this come from? Like they tried to get the Friday the 13th or a John Carpenter like sound, and they were so wrong. They were so wrong. It was just so way off.
All right, let me ask you this. You know that boat ride scene with the guy and his girlfriend at night, which you can't fucking see them the entire time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, being able to catch glimpses. It was like watching Game of Thrones in the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah, it's true. All right. How long do you think that scene was? Just take a guess.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I skipped ahead a lot at that point. So, like, I had to keep skipping back to be like, oh, I missed a kill scene. But I'm pretty sure that one got up to about 5 minutes.
4 minutes.
It really? That's shocking. I thought it was longer.
It does. It feels so long.
Mm-hmm. They take a while to get it on, and it's very uncomfortable.
It is.
And weird. And then it is, okay, small highlight. And Sturdy, you got one. That was a cool moment when he slit the dude's throat and the blood is getting on the girl.
Yeah, that was cool.
You had one that was done very well. And actually, when they do it from the POV and it's all terrible, like whatever camera they're using is just in Redshift, and all it is like a weird red pixelated black thing happening with the video there with whatever VHS effect they did on their camcorder. Dink. That was neat. That was enough to make me go, okay, I see what you're going for. It was one of the few well executed parts, and the music almost synced up.
Almost.
It was so close.
There was a fourth scene that made no sense, and it was a montage for no reason.
Oh yes.
And that came at the end. It was the dry lake scene, which obviously they dammed off the lake, and then months later came back and was like, "All right, let's film." Which was stupid and made no sense, and it sucked. And that was 3 minutes long.
Well, that part was great because it was the end. The music was perfect for it. I was absolutely done with that movie at that point. But the fact that this guy, this killer, got exactly what he wanted. He got his house back because he's murdered everyone else. Nobody's coming around there. They've dammed the lake, so it's no longer going to be worthwhile for anyone to go to. He gets his peace and quiet. Oddly, this movie worked out best for the killer, who now doesn't have to go on a rampage killing anymore. He just gets to hang out.
They should just call this movie Squatters' Rights. Dude, I'm so mad because obviously the dude just lives because everybody knew who he was.
Yeah, Jed. I mean, he had a name.
Everybody knew he obviously goes to the grocery store because we do get the scene where it's a stockpile fridge with all fresh food. They say fresh food. And what do they fucking do? They put it in a bag and go to throw it away. Like a full gallon of milk.
Why would you not eat that? Like, I understand, look, maybe you don't want to get into, like, they may have it, like, laced with something, but the chances of that are slim to none. If it was, like, one or two things, probably don't eat it. But if it's a fridge full, someone's living there, just chow.
Chow
Thanks
down
for the free groceries, man.
I was so mad when he went
back in the days of, like, 25-cent milk, bro.
And now I get the setup of it for her to open it and be like, why is this here? Why is this all fresh? Okay, you're setting up that somebody might have been staying there, living there. And we know that's the case. But what bugs me is he immediately goes to throw it away. And the only reason he's throwing it away is so they can get him to the garage to check it and see that it's locked.
Yeah.
That obviously where Jed's hiding out.
Yeah, so, where Jed's tucked away.
So for me, it's like, what the hell? You didn't have to throw away the food for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to throw away the food. You also don't have to, make this movie. That's
right.
It did happen, and we watched it. And I mean, Jed was fine. Everything was just. I don't understand how long everything was. Like for the credit intro, even him driving the Pontiac to the location was long as crap.
Yeah.
That was another whole song. We got the Strong Voyager intro.
There was one, because you remember when you watched Night of the Living Dead, George Romero did it perfectly. When the dreadful music is playing, you see the lightning in the sky, you're looking down this long road and you're seeing a car winding down. And it's freaking you out because as it gets closer and closer, the music gets louder and louder and swells, and everything is timed perfectly. Blood Lake doesn't know what the fuck it's doing because it didn't do that at all. All it did was it played a Voyager song and just pointed that camcorder right down the road, and you see the Ironic Z with the boat coming up, and you're just like, and then it passes, and you kind of turn.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like, come on. That's some of those. I mean, yeah.
And everyone was happy in that car, like in The Legend of Billie Jean. I felt like we were getting some sort of.
So you can say Blood Lake is like The Legend of Billie Jean. At the beginning, you might be a little happy, but it's going to go very south, very fast.
Real fast, and it's not going to be fun for anyone along the way.
Yeah.
The murder scenes were terrible. I mean, they just really struggled with the kill scenes. It wasn't great. They had one good one, and then everything else was the same. Just this dude sticking people in, one spot over and over again. Like, get a new thing, bro. Like, the one guy, he doesn't even fully drown him. No. He pulls him out of the lake to stab him in the same fucking spot.
He wanted that stabbing done. He wanted to get it done.
God, he's got him a good stabbing point, and then he can handle some stabbing too. Because let's not forget, Jed gets faced into the wall by Mark, our hero. And then
Mike
stabs him Mike, sorry. And then stabs him like 9 times.
Yeah. Oh, my
dude's
God.
Fine.
Dude, from poor fucking Becky, too.
Yeah, Becky's just hanging while he's like all about stabbing this chick or this dude, Jed. And she's back there hung, stabbed, just bleeding out. And his reaction. Oh my God, his reaction. Okay, when he pulls her down. Sorry, I had to write this down. Because the whole time Becky's death sounded more like she had overdosed. He's doing this like, oh shit. Oh no. Oh man.
Yeah. Like it's an inconvenience that this happened to her.
Like, oh, Becky,
you should have known that was baking soda. It was just a joke.
Thinking? Like he's doing oh god damn it, like he has to bury the body. His reaction.
I like how the cop never blamed him either. The cop was on it. Or not the cop, like the fucking whatever.
It's the same guy, but he should put a badge on and they called him sheriff.
He put a fucking badge on and now he's the sheriff. It's the same guy in the same outfit. He didn't even change outfits. He just straight up came back with like a badge on.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm the sheriff now.
None of which should have made sense or was any good. I was so pissed listening to that.
That's why it's Blood Lake.
But he comes in. When he first came in and they're showing the bodies, it's the most awkward fucking conversation. First of all,
oh, geez. Well, it looks like I'm going to have a problem here. Hey, that's Jed.
He doesn't even get picked up. Like, his voice doesn't get picked up on the microphone.
Yeah.
At what point does the filmmaker say, "Ah, shit, I didn't catch you on that"? You have to rewind the tape. Like that's all you got to do. Like, are you running out of spots?
When he first shows up, you can't hear him at all.
At all. You don't know what he's doing there.
Well, blonde kid Beavis, when he shows up, you can't hear him either. Like Becky's having this conversation with Beavis and Butthead, and they're like, "Yeah, totally." But what they sound like is,
Yeah.
and then Becky's like, "Oh, I understand that. Yeah, it sounds like it's from over there." It's weird as shit. Very problematic.
It is
Very
so problematic. So, and then I love the fight between the two friends. Like, there's a killer out there. They know people are being murdered horribly. The cops showed up. They clearly didn't show us, but somebody had to show up and get those bodies out of there. So you're
because the bodies are gone.
Everybody knows what's going on. And the dude's like, I need some privacy with my girl. And they're like rolling out. And then him and his friend get in a fight for 3. First of all, everything that made no sense in this movie lasted longer than that fight did. And the whole fight should have been like the precipice of like, I can't let you go. And then like maybe a fist fight encounter. And then he just bails out of it, which makes no fucking sense anyway. But he did it. I hate it. I fucking hate it. But like
it's
59
terrible.
minutes.
That fight was dumb. That fight was so stupid and pointless. And it was just they get outside. So he and Kim are outside now. And not Mike is still inside with Becky. And so he and Kim are outside, and he's like, I'm just so pissed. I just need to take a minute and light this joint. Like, because the whole thing is they're the stoners.
Yeah.
And it's like not cool to be a stoner, because if you're a stoner, you can't fuck. Like, that was like a whole story that Mike gives to his younger brother and his best friend about why he doesn't smoke weed, because he couldn't cheat on Becky because he got high.
Yeah, you listened to these conversations? I did.
That's why I started skipping.
I don't blame
because the first half I did. Through 40 minutes, I gave this a ride. I legit, sturdy, I gave this a ride. And
he did try.
And then everything happened, and I was done. I started to be like, I would skip like 30-second increments, because you can watch it for free on Tubi. So I'm skipping through with the 30-second going, something happened, all right. Maybe I'll scroll back there and then watch 3 minutes and go, don't know the fuck I did that. Next. Like,
oh my God. This movie is fucking terrible. Nothing about it makes sense. The motive of the killer, again, is Becky's family bought the house from him and never paid him. So therefore, Jed wants his house back and some goddamn peace and quiet. So he just kills them all. He really wants some peace and quiet.
That's all he fucking wants, man. He kills the gardener, who's got to be a local. Everybody knows him.
I didn't hire you. Get out of here.
Yeah, right? Like, what is that? The gardener, it's your bro that you probably do shopping with.
God, everything about it is just terrible. Sturdy's favorite movie of all time. Blood Lake. Clearly. Listen, guys, you should go watch Horror with Sir Sturdy.
Yes, we love Sturdy. He's got an amazing show. He recommended an absolute piece of garbage, but he is a beautiful, wonderful person, and his show is awesome. So make sure to check them out live Thursday nights.
In fairness, though, he did say this is a piece of garbage, and he hates this movie. So I'm going to tell you guys, our patrons get to choose our movies for us to watch on Plot Roast. If you decide to become a patron, we're putting a ban on terrible movies like this.
We are giving ourselves a veto power, so we want everyone to be aware that if there's a movie that we achieve, like, I don't know, The Stupids or Blood Lake.
I think Blood Lake is the worst movie we've ever reviewed.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the very least, we're just saying, if we do veto, we will veto publicly. And we might not be a veto forever. It might just be a couple weeks changed. We might need a break and watch something else.
We're going to have an agreement in place. The agreement's going to be, one, if the killer at any point just like transports or materializes out of thin air, we're not interested. 2, if at any point any of the main characters in the movie, not even protagonists, any main character throws out like fresh groceries for no other reason but a terrible plot device, we're vetoed.
If there's any underage humping or allusion to it, or heavy discussion of people being pushed into those situations, I'm not interested.
I'm not interested yet.
Thank you.
Any water skiing, quarters playing, boat riding at night with no lights and a dry lake, we're out. And if you have Tom Arnold in your movie, keep it.
Done. I think that's
fair.
Except
for maybe
True
exit
Lies.
Wounds.
True Lies. Not
And
exit wounds. Maybe exit wounds. Maybe exit wounds. All right. I'll give you exit wounds too. I like that one. True Lies, absolutely. I don't know if we'll do True Lies. It's kind of too good. I don't know if we would put it on plot roasts.
Brian filled in for you for the Stupids, and I think he hates me now.
Which I'm very grateful. Brian, you saved me. Paul, I love you. You go screw yourself.
I'm just going to make Brian...
I'd rather watch Problem Child on loop with my eyes pried open than deal with that.
We should do that one next. No,
that one I would be willing to do because it's got John Ritter.
John Ritter's the best.
He's amazing.
You know what's not the best?
What's that?
Blood Lake.
Yeah, no, Blood Lake pretty low on the totem pole there.
Certainly is not a good movie.
It really is not.
And I hope we've roasted it quite enough for you guys out there in Roast Lands.
With all the mullets, mumblers, and the kids with the real smart mouth.
True. For anybody who's watching this on YouTube, make sure to please hit that like button, hit subscribe. We have great shows. And if you want to watch the full uncut version of this show or more, go over and become a Patreon. We have 3 level tiers that you can join up on: the $2, the $5, and the $10. All different perks, lots of fun stuff going on. But you do get to pick on certain ones. You get to pick what movies we watch on Patreon, on the Patreon show Plot Roast. And, plenty of other stuff, giveaways, stuff like that. So check that out. You can go to thescenesnobs.com. You can join that. You can join our Discord. You can join our Facebook group. We've got tons of stuff going on. Make sure to follow, rate, review, the whole 9 yards. And as we go on, I'm going to let my good buddy... Oh, our next movie is Masters of the Universe, by the way.
Yes, we're doing Masters of the Universe next, which was recommended by me because it's my turn and I needed something fucking great. And it's one of the greatest movies of all time, and I'm so excited to destroy it for you all. So make sure to join us next time on Plot Roast. Mick, it's a pleasure as always, my friend. Thank you all so much for joining us, for checking us out, and hopefully you enjoyed and we were able to entertain you for a little bit. Remember, as always, to be kind to yourself and be kind to each other.
Can't say it better than myself, so I'm not gonna. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest Live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our link tree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky. It's rolling so I don't forget.
Yep. Nope. Smart. Oh, that's right. This is recorded. What am I talking about? We're fine. We'll fix it in post. Fix it in post.
Oh, man. I already put the other plot roast up.
I know.
Dude.
I'm excited.
That fucking... Yeah, I was so happy with that clip. I still got to cut clips out of fucking last night's show. I haven't even done that.
Oh, yeah? Were there some good ones? Hopefully.
Oh, yeah. There's some funny ones last night.
Felt like we had some hot fire.
Yeah. We went back and rewatched it afterwards because I was like trying to show Mary something. And it's just a whole bear conversation. Like, I'm pretty sure I can beat a bear up.
I can beat
that bear up.
Beat a bear. I love that one. It's great.
So arrogant. Just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, based on the first bear I've ever seen, I can beat bears up.
And it was a dead bear, no less.
Oh my god. Look at that fucking runt. Fuck that guy.
Oh my god! I need to just watch a bunch of videos where people are forced to use bear mace and see that you are not ready for a bear.
No.
Oh,
I drop kick a bear, big old grizzly, fucking coming at me. Just like, I got this,
and it won't even shrug.
Atlas
just take
shrug.
its massive paw and just shrug.
Atlas shrug.
Well, that's because the earth moved when you drop kicked.
I'll just start peeing on the bear, and I'll be like, I own you now. You're my property.
If that worked, that would be incredible.
And the bear just follows me everywhere.
Just all of a sudden, is like it just kind of cocks its head, looks down, is like, fuck it, and comes over and just starts nestling on you.
Again, all the rangers are like, sir, that is a grizzly bear. You have to get away from it. No, he's my friend.
This is my pal. This is Jenkins. Me and Jenkins are going to go roll out for a bit.
Every time we start seeing somebody on the street who gives us looks, I start playing Wanted, Dead or Alive on my phone. Like, we're going to go out in a blaze of glory.
Well, that's two different songs. You got to play Blaze of Glory.
You do one against the other. Like,
or if you're going to do, if
alive.
you're the one with a bear, because if it works for you, I'm doing it. And I would piss and get a polar bear. I would go up and get a big, giant polar bear because they're bigger and more dangerous and terrifying. Yeah, and I would take that, and I'll have Blaze of Glory, and you have Dead or Alive, and we're just going to John Bon Jovi it from the end of the street.
I'm going all out. Just like, that's it.
We have to ride them into battle.
When in reality, if we're standing next to two bears, it's a matter of living on a prayer. That's it.
Oh, well,
I'll piss on myself, and it'll be slippery when wet.
Well, you can make your own choice because it's your life.
Well, I found the blooper reel for after this episode.
Right? And it's now or never.
It's going to be the key. Like, I'm just going to ask people, be like, hey, did you watch the blooper reel? No? You're not real fans.
That's not as good.
you missed stay for after the credits.
This is our post-credit scene. Just slap this on the end of the next show for no reason, with no rhyme, no one expecting it. Just boom.
Man, I'd like to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative.
Ah, yes.
Oh, fuck it.
We just recreate all of the end sequences from all the Avengers movies. Every MCU movie.
I would
just recreate the end scenes, man.
I would not be opposed to this. I would not be opposed.
Any end credit scene for any movie. We call it cappers.
I'm not opposed to this. I'm not opposed to this. Every episode ends with that.
That's what we do when we invite guests on too. We ask them to do that, to do a capper with us at the end and do a recording.
Trying to get you Will Wheaton now. I don't know what's going to happen with it.
Hey, man, I'd be cool one way or the other.
I'm going to just tell the guy, hey, go fuck yourself.
I think Doug Jones is a more viable get. I think we could get Doug Jones.
Oh, probably. But you like Will Wheaton. And his bullshit showing up on the card. Did you watch Picard all the way through?
I did. I finally, but the last day I was sick, like officially homesick, when I felt fine and was like, all right, I'm doing laundry and shit. I was like, I'm forcing myself to watch this show. I have to do it. It was not good. It was not good. It didn't hurt the legacy for me in any way. A lot of people were upset saying, oh, this has ruined Picard and Q. I was like, in no way. I love the Picard Q part. That was the best part of the show. That was amazing. Everything else was lacking. And it's not for blame by the actors. It is 100%. That script was trash.
Yeah.
That storyline was hot garbage. And that's what dragged everyone back. The only thing I was 100% a fan of was Alice Jurati becoming the freaking Borg Queen.
Oh, you did like that.
You know what? Because Alison Pill was way better when she was acting. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Jurati character was too close to maybe who she is, and there was too much. I associated her with that character. I didn't like the character. Her as the Borg Queen, I freaking dug. Thought that was awesome.
So you like the evolution of the Borg now?
I do. I'm fine with it.
Cool.
I'm absolutely fine with it. I actually think it was a really cool way to go. So, because they continue losing, and I love that, enough groups get together and beat the crap out of them. So finally the Queen has to go, oh yeah, not really effective.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of Will Wheaton showing up and taking stupid with her?
It was actually great. It was way better than I thought it was going to be, because Will Wheaton as the Traveler is what I want to see, because he had a good finish with the Traveler storyline. That was radical, man. And that was something that, of course, I'm going to associate with, because who doesn't want to become a time walker in space? Like, it is a rad ending. I struggled with him. Really, my struggle with him is when he comes back and he's an a-hole to everyone. I didn't mind when he was a dopey kid, and I was growing up at the same level as him. You know what I mean? So it worked. I understood, and I had kind of more of that positive, doofy outlook. There's a couple episodes where he does play ridiculous, over the top, like ha ha ha, and he's supposed to, so it works. But when we were, the second round of watching Next Gen, we're older, going, who's this jerk off? Because we were too cool. It happens. So I get it. But having him come back as a Traveler was perfect. And it got rid of a character who, good send off.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. No, I'm just kidding.
I really didn't mind Wesley. Look, Wesley he was problematic. He had issues. There's definitely episodes where I was like, shut up, Wesley. Like, just,
yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? You're an ensign, and this is Jean-Luc Picard. Shut up.
I thought it would have been like, I wish they had thought about it, or maybe if they would do a Star Trek type show where they're on something, even in Enterprise, whatever, but do it from the point of view of an ensign, not Lower Decks, not comedic.
No, Lower Decks is perfect the way it needs to be. And actually, I wrote and outlined and lost the entire notebook, but I had a notebook, one of my moves, because it was many years ago. I wrote out Star Trek Lower Decks.
The episode?
The like junior grade. Like I called it Star Trek JG. So it was basically all of the ensigns, and how each episode would kind of be each one of them going through a process at work in their own station. Like, they're all friends. One of them would be in medical, one of them be in, engineering, one of them was on the bridge or in cartography or somewhere. And whenever they would get back together at the end of the episode, they would reconcile what the ship had been through the eyes of just the job they did. Kind of what Lower Decks did.
Yeah.
That episode. So I thought that would be a lot of fun. And as you follow them, they're going through their career. It starts at Starfleet Academy. They're graduating. Then you're on the ship. So then you're going through the ship. You're getting used to who they work for, like their commanders, they're the lieutenants and commanders that they answer to, kind of getting used to that, and different department heads, and watching them grow. Like watching one person who's in medical decide, I don't want to fucking be in medical. And the beauty in Starfleet is you just go somewhere else, seeing who kind of swaps, who decides to really commit to what they're doing, who dies, because you got to have death.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of route that I wanted to do in there. And the funny thing is, I wanted Colm Meaney to be the one doing the graduation service, have Chief O'Brien, now Vice Commandant or Commodore O'Brien, shit like that. Yeah.
I would, but I'd like to see the point of view of an ensign while he's working on the bridge.
Yeah, well, I wanted to have that too in some episodes, because it's something you earn. It's such a big deal to get on the bridge, even if you're night crew. And how cool is that? They'll have one of them actually be coming out of the academy as a Lieutenant JG. Whenever you're a high grad, you get promoted higher. So have them come out at that, and they run operations during the night shift. So they know everything going on with the ship, kind of deal. Nice. They have that data seat. That's where you run operations. Is a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's pretty rad. So that was kind of one I played with, and I thought about doing it again. And then I saw Star Trek Lower Decks, and I was like, I don't know if that would be interesting, but I kind of do want to write it out just for the sake of it's fun to write. And my romantic comedy zombie movie is going great. The first half is a straight up rom-com, and it's all based on me and one girl that if I ever found again, it would be like, yeah, I would go for it. I'd commit, it would be the thing. And it's circumstantial how they meet, and it's all sweet. And then all of a sudden, midway through, zombies out of nowhere, just boom.
Be great if it ended with you throwing her down to the zombies off a balcony. She's like, I just don't think we should see each other anymore. And you guys are the only ones left around, and you throw her into.
That's one of the endings that I was putting together, was actually having it be a situation where either they live and it requires them to sacrifice all of their friends and everyone else that they've been working to rescue the whole time, or it's they sacrifice themselves to be the ones who die and let their friends live. But I want it to be the twist ending of they sacrifice their friends and save themselves. Like, it's fucked up, but you would. You know, you're with the love of your life, the person you've always wanted to be with. It's finally happening, and you're going to be able to fight zombies together to the end of time. Yeah.
Have you met me? I fight bears.
I mean, I'm aware. You are the bear wrangler.
All right, let's get this party started.
And no, this is what we're doing for Blood Lake. This is the whole conversation, because I don't want to talk anything about that movie. Anything but the awkward movie that we were subjected to, thanks to Aaron.
Well, don't get started yet. Let me intro.
All right.
I like what you're doing. I don't want to lose that vibe.
All right.